Coach Prime decided to respond to the Randeezy and stated in a quote tweet, he will be a top 5 pick. Where your son going? And before some of y'all try to say, oh, well, Matt's just taking up for Colorado for whatever reason you want to come up with, buddy, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I don't even have a horse in the race. This is the most unbiased opinion you're ever going to hear on Colorado and the Sanders family. We would be having a completely different conversation if Deion, Shedeur, and Bucky started this themselves, but they didn't. Yeah, y'all see it? Bucky getting in the mix of things. This is what I like to see. This whole situation, it is bonkers, and the Sanders family, they got me hyped up. Yesterday, you had Shedeur Sanders going off. Early this morning, you had Coach Prime going off. We're going to talk all about that. And now, you got the other son, Bucky, going off. All people have done these past couple of years is run their mouth about Deion Sanders, his kids 24/7, and finally, they're sticking up for themselves. That's a bad way of putting it because it's not like they've been cowering away from everything that's happened these past couple of years, if that makes sense. It's more so of they just haven't been paying it any attention whatsoever. But just like Deion said early this morning, I got time today. Sure, they can be a little too confident at times, and you could also argue and say they're cocky every now and then. But as a confident person myself, it doesn't rub me the wrong way. With that being said, let's get into things. And oh yeah, by the way, shout out to Steve. He sent me this on Twitter today, and I'm not going to lie, I laughed out loud when I saw it. It has Coach Prime's tweet right here, and at the bottom it says, days since the last Colorado drama, 0. Thank you to Steve for sending me that, and yeah, that's pretty much how it feels at this point. But let me take you back to where all this started, and it was early this morning. Deion Sanders tweeted this out. Folks don't hate you because they really don't know you. They admire you in a negative way. They realize they can't be you, think like you, talk like you, or walk in your shoes. That bothers them. Always smile when you see them because that makes them admire you so much more in that negative way. To give you some context here for those of you that don't keep up with Coach Prime, this isn't a random tweet. He's not trying to single out anybody or any situation here. He posts motivational and inspirational stuff like this all the time, every single day. In the comment section, though, a Randeezy, which is a random, replied and stated, tell your son stop act like he the coldest out in here, then put up a 4-8 season. What about that? Coach Prime decided to respond to the Randeezy and stated in a quote tweet, he will be a top 5 pick. Where your son going? LOL, LOL, LOL. I got time today. LOL, LOL, LOL. You go to Sam. I just know Coach Prime. He was in his office laughing when tweeting this out. Me personally, do I have a problem with Coach Prime tweeting this out? No, not really. Doesn't bother me. I haven't even looked at this comment section. I already know it's about to be crazy, so let's check out some of these tweets. You know who also thought that? Spencer Rattler. Where was he picked? LOL. Oh yeah, I guess that's a pretty good rebuttal. KG stated, brother not even top 5 quarterback in your conference. Top 5 in what? Sacks taken and teammates thrown under the bus? And that got over 4,000 likes, so obviously 4,000 people agree with that. Talent-wise and upside 100%, especially with that class. But genuine question, as a father, not a coach, why should someone draft a bad teammate? Why should a team draft a kid that craps, we'll say, on former players publicly on social media? Why would an NFL locker room add that distraction? I got time today too, Deion. Y'all went 4-8 and everyone is transferring out. Laughingstock of college football. Not what all this clown stuff you and him are doing. He might not even be a top 50 pick if you keep this up and go 4-8 again this season. They got over 500 likes. Bro, Caleb Mathis caught her straight, dude. Someone said, I don't know why you like this. I guess he liked the tweet. What pick will you be? Nah, bro, going after Caleb Mathis in a tweet where he ain't even been mentioned in, that's crazy. That's diabolical behavior. I think I'll get the point, per usual. Everybody's hating on Coach Prime and his son, Shedeur. And I can't say it's not rightfully earned and deserved because, yeah, last year they did go 4-8. They sucked. But the whole point of this, remember, is Coach Prime replied to this person, like, oh, yeah, my son, he's going to be a top 5 pick. Where's your son going? Whether or not I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be a top 5 pick, that is a completely different video for a different day. The NFL draft for next year is literally 1 year away. There's no reason to even talk about that because so many different things can happen from now until then. Here's what I will say about this. Yet again, I don't mind Coach Prime tweeting this out because I understand who he is. He is unapologetically himself, and so is his kids. Newsflash, buddy, to all these people that just started keeping up with Coach Prime when he became the head coach of Colorado, he has been this way. And when I say he's been this way, I don't mean that in a bad way whatsoever. This is the type of guy Coach Prime is, and I like people like this. They're blunt, they're harsh, and they're going to call things for how they are. Even if they shouldn't come out and say stuff, they're going to say it regardless of how anybody feels or how they think anybody's going to feel. I don't think a lot of people quite understand how much confidence you have to have in yourself to become a professional athlete in any sport. And your boy Deion Sanders was a professional football player and a professional baseball player. I'm going to let y'all know something. You don't get to that level by holding your head down and acting shy all the time and not believing in yourself. No, you got to be slightly cocky. I believe everybody in this life, I'm talking about average Joes like me and you, we all have egos. But professional athletes, it's 5 times that. The self-belief that athletes and top-tier athletes like Deion Sanders have, it's on a whole nother level and planet. I know what you're sitting there saying, though. Well, Matt, what does that have to do with this situation? How does it correlate? And that's a great question, my friend, and I would love to answer it. Although Deion isn't playing sports anymore, he's coaching them. And that same competitive edge he had when he was playing sports, it's just been carried over to coaching. Does he believe probably a little bit too much in his Colorado team and program and his son, Shedeur Sanders? Yes, heck yes, and I think he'd even agree with that. But that's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand and realize. The belief these top-tier athletes and former top-tier athletes have in themselves, although we may label them as crazy, they don't think it is crazy. Getting back on track here, like I was saying, sorry for the whole rant on that. Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, he has always been this way. He's bold and brash, and he doesn't shy away from that, and I applaud him for that. Take a look at this, though. Jaheim Ward quote tweeted Caleb Mathis and stated, "Bruh, you had 38 yards last year. Stop trying to downplay somebody." That is when Delvin the Truth quote tweeted him and said, "Man, go take a seat," and showed his stats, in which you see him right here. He didn't do too much of anything. Deion proceeds to quote tweet the quote tweet to the quote tweet. I know it's a mouthful, but that's what happened, and stated, "Lord Jesus." As of when I'm speaking, that's got over roughly 13 million views. Somebody in the comments said, "You're a head football coach. What is this?" Yeah, you already know. He's catching some backlash for it in the comment section. I'm sorry. I think it's funny. There is no way a serious head coach acts like this. 4-8 makes complete sense now. Could you ever imagine Kirby, Harbaugh, Lanning, Saban, etc. ever making a post like this? And no, I couldn't imagine him doing that because they're not Coach Prime. I can imagine Coach Prime doing this because he's an entirely different person from all those people you just listed off. Obviously, it goes without being said, I don't advocate for what Coach Prime said here because that's not something I would do. However, I don't think Coach Prime was trying to be malicious when he tweeted this out, not even to the slightest. I think he's using Twitter like most of everybody else. He's just cracking a joke. I'm not saying as a head football coach you should be cracking jokes on other players. I'm just saying I think that's what happened here. Let's not act brand new here. Coach Prime is big into the social media world. He tweets every single day. I believe he has something like over 50,000 posts on Twitter. This guy's on Twitter all the time. I think he saw where some player called him out and he was like, "Hey, you know what? I got time today. I might as well quote tweet it." Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying it's a good look. I'm just stating that Coach Prime probably doesn't think too much of it, and maybe he should. I'll let you guys be the judge of that in the comment section. What do you think about him saying this? All right, this one was funny. Grown man acting like a 12-year-old on IG. You ain't wrong. That's my whole point in all this, though. I think Coach Prime is just so happy. He's so content in this life. He's not taking anything too serious. I know it's not the same thing, so don't get my words twisted here, but it reminds me of LeBron the other night when he stated after their devastating loss to the Nuggets, "Hey, at the end of the day, it's just a basketball game. It's not everything." I'm kind of getting those same vibes from Deion right here because you know he's laughing about all this. Maybe I should be holding Coach Prime to the fire more than what I am. Let me know in the comment section. How do you feel about this? On Twitter as well, this is where his other son, Bucky, chimes in on things. Mike Farrell tweeted out, "This is one thin-skinned family." And this is where Bucky quote tweets it and states, "You so blank made, dog. It don't even make sense. You wrote multiple articles talking down on my family, but when we finally respond, we're quote-unquote thin-skinned." Woo! What about that? We got Bucky getting in the mix of things. Shout out to Bucky. Look, man, I'm going to keep it a Fortnite V-Buck with you. I'm on Bucky's side on this one because he is 10,000% right. All these media outlets, companies, and these weirdos, whatever you want to call them, they're always writing these articles and hit pieces on Deion in Colorado, always talking down on them. And the Sanders family, they never reply, rarely if ever. And the one time they reply, these same weirdos that are writing these articles, they're like, "Oh yeah, this is one thin-skinned family." Like, what? Come on, buddy. You sound dumb. And before some of y'all try to say, "Oh, well, Matt's just taking up for Colorado for whatever reason you want to come up with," buddy, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, But I don't even have a horse in the race. This is the most unbiased opinion you're ever going to hear on Colorado and the Sanders family. And matter of fact, y'all know this. I don't hesitate when it comes to talking down on Colorado. I will do that in a heartbeat. I critique when I need a critique, but also, and this is what separates me and our channel, I give credit where it's due. It's very weirdo behavior for the media to constantly, time after time after time, attack Bucky, attack Shedeur Sanders, attack Deion Sanders, and all of them finally respond, and it's like, oh my gosh, they're so immature. I can't believe they responded. They're the bad guys. But remember, the media and all these other weirdos on Twitter, you're the ones who started this in the first place. We would be having a completely different conversation if Deion, Shedeur, and Bucky started this themselves, but they didn't. They just responded. This is the equivalent to taking up for yourself in real life. Newsflash, buddy. The most white saying of all time, but seriously, newsflash, buddy. You can't just let people walk over you in this life. Eventually, you got to stand up for yourself. It seems like I'm one of the very few people to be on the Sanders family side in this situation, but I don't care. I do not care to be the oddball out. I call things for how I see it. There's many more things I could say. We'll end off the video here. Let me know your thoughts down below. But Roman